Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the mid-February 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Scorpio. It's totally fine if you find this video a few days before the middle of the month or a few days after the middle of the month, Scorpio. You'll find it when you need it. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you the meaning of the tarot cards, but I'll also provide you any intuitive messages that I get during this reading. I do, however, recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising to get a full picture of everything that's going on. But that being said, let's go and jump in. Also, really quick, if you have not done so already, please do subscribe to my channel. That helps me greatly. And you'll also be notified if you subscribe when I post new videos. I typically post a couple Scorpio videos a month. With that being said, let's jump in. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's coming to a close, wrapping up in the last few weeks. Column 2 is going to be just general February. Column 3 will be money. Column 4 will be love. And in the 5th and final column, we'll do a message from your future self or spirit guide. We'll also do 3 yes or no questions, a healing stone, and a healing note. So let's pull a summary card. We have the card heat. Typically that means things are starting to heat up, they're starting to move for you. Heat is kind of like a response to friction, which is again movement. So things are moving for you, Scorpio. The first card we have is the King of Cups. The King of Cups is very supportive, very tolerant, very empathetic. I feel like you've had to be more tolerant towards something recently, Scorpio. I'm not quite sure what that is. I'm just getting the feeling that you are the one that's been tolerant lately. The next card we have is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. It's a card of good luck. It's a card of fortune. It also is a turning point with the wheel there. So a lot of you are probably shifting. Again, things are moving. Maybe things were stagnant and they are now moving. Then at the bottom we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a card of rest, retreat, renewal, recovery. So some of you could just be tired based on these last few weeks. I think things are in motion. There's something you've had to be quite tolerant about. But keep in mind you are at a turning point here. And it feels like a really positive turning point. Let's clarify this row and see what other messages we get. The first card we have is the Devil card. The Devil card is a card of greed, envy, materialism, obsession. Again, I was saying that I felt like you were having to be more tolerant, Scorpio. So I feel like there could be a person that has been like almost bragging to you about something. Materialism seems to be kind of standing out. Or it's almost like they want you to be envious of them, and you just kind of ignoring it and keep dodging it, Scorpio, which you should continue to do. Like somebody is trying to get you to engage, and you've just been kind of like, meh, no thank you, which is a good place for you to be. The next card we have is the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of luxury, self-sufficiency, financial gain. It is on top of the Wheel of Fortune, which is a fortune card, so a finance card. So probably likely there is a really positive shift in money relations for you, Scorpio. Or if you haven't felt it yet, again, we're at that turning point, but likely turning to a point where money is just a little bit more abundant in your life. So there will be some financial gain there for you if it hasn't already happened. We have the Wheel of Fortune again, so 2 back-to-back Wheel of Fortune cards. Again, this is indicating that there's some sort of turning point, and very much so a card of money. It's on top of the Four of Swords, but the Four of Swords is really just telling you that you need to rest, retreat. The Four of Swords can also be a card of being in solitude, so maybe removing yourself from that person that is wanting you to be jealous or wanting you to be envious as well. Now let's take a look at what's coming for the remainder of February for you. We have the card Listen. And this could mean 2 things. It could be that you need to make sure you're listening and you're hearing all sides of the story. Or it could be that you have the desire for yourself to be heard, Scorpio. So it could go either way. Again, you need to be listening or somebody needs to be listening to you. Let's see what messages are coming for you for the remainder of February. The first card we have is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is very reliable, very hardworking, very patient. I would tell you to continue to be patient. Again, we were talking about how tolerant you've been recently, Scorpio, but patience is key. It looks like there's quite a bit of newness coming in, so don't get impatient as we get close to these newer things. We have 2 back-to-back new cards. Anytime we have an ace card, it's a card of newness. The Ace of Swords is specifically like a new idea or some sort of new mental clarity. You might find that you're getting clarity by hearing what other people are having to say. Like you're going to hear something that gives you additional clarity. Then we have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a new project, new inspiration, new urge to create. So what I'm getting is that there's going to be a new idea that comes to you and you're going to have this immediate urge to create, which is not a bad thing. I think this is going to unlock a new kind of creative chapter for you, Scorpio. But let's clarify this column and see. The first card we have is the Hermit card. The Hermit card is about going within for clarity. You see this light here. This is the light within yourself. It's about going within to find information that you need, to make sure you're on the right path. The Hermit is really about being on your own spiritual and personal truth and journey. So this is like saying make sure you're checking in with yourself, getting where you want to go, make sure you're aligned with your inner self. It's on top of the Knight of Pentacles, which is again that reliable, patient card. But this is reminding you to be listening to yourself as well. Then we have the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a very romantic card, a very love-driven card. This is a card of partnership, proposal, marriage. It's on top of your Ace of Swords, which is new ideas, new mental clarity. I do feel like there will be a person that's kind of inspiring this creative juice or helping you with this new idea. It feels like a very partnership basis. Then at the bottom we have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is oftentimes a card of regret. This is coming through as an interesting message, but I'm just going to read it the way I'm seeing it, Scorpio. I think that you'll regret not taking this opportunity if you decide not to pursue this new idea or this new project. You really need this creativity, and if you kind of brush it under the rug or say, I'm not ready or I don't have the time, I think it's something that you'll regret, Scorpio. Now let's move into the next column, which is all about money. So this could be job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have. Truly think anything money related. And let's see what messages come through here. The first card we have is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is very stagnant. This person is stuck. They're quite literally hanging there by their foot. It's like you're waiting for more information. You don't want to make a move until you find out something else. So things seem kind of slow moving on the money and job front right now, Scorpio. The next card we have is the Emperor. The Emperor is very much so a card of leadership. It's also strategic planning. I feel like you're trying to decide what move you want to make, Scorpio, in the future. Like, are you doing the right things with money? Are you doing the right things with jobs? That Hanged Man is like kind of standing there questioning what you're doing, making sure, are you doing the right thing? And that makes sense with the Emperor card too, that very strategic, long-term type thinking. The Emperor card's also a card of leadership, so some of you might be in a leadership role or be moving into a leadership role. And then at the bottom here, we have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is a card of like betrayal, dishonesty, wanting to move away from something. Some of you could be leaving a job or pulling out from an investment. But there could be like some sort of theft or betrayal or dishonesty that's prompting it. So something might have happened with work or with an investment that's causing you to move away. But let's clarify this column and see what messages we have. First, we have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is waiting for results. It makes sense you have two waiting cards here together. There's something you're waiting for, Scorpio, before you make your move. Like you're questioning what's going on. You don't know what direction you want to go. Do you want to stay? Do you want to go? We're kind of going through that internal questioning, it feels like. And at some point in time, you're going to have to make a choice. The Two of Wands is very much so a card of making that choice as well. The next card we have is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is very free-spirited and very creative. Again, we were talking about this creative piece down here. You may be more free-spirited for those of you moving into that leadership position as well. Like I said, you're going to have the ability to be more creative if you move into that leader role. But the Emperor is also very focused on strategic planning, and this was just a reminder that you can create your future whatever way you want. At this point, it's almost like, Scorpio, you're acting or feeling like you're stuck and you don't know where to go, and this is just saying, well, you can do whatever you want. You don't need to be stuck. You don't need to be questioning these things quite the way that you are. Then we have the Seven of Swords. For those of you who watch my videos, you know when I love when this happens. We get the same card twice in the exact same spot. It's literally the world saying, I meant what I meant. In this case, there seems to be something that's not quite right related to work or money. Again, we're going to be pulling back away from an investment or moving on to a different job, likely driven by some sort of betrayal or dishonesty. But again, not a bad thing because some of you are kind of stagnant, so this will be the push you need to move forward. In the next column, we're going to talk about anything related to love. So this could be a relationship, whether you're married or single in a relationship. This also relates to friends and family, and children potentially as well too. So let's take a look at our fourth column related to love here. The first card we have is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is very confident and very self-assured. This is a good thing, Scorpio. I don't know that you've always felt this energy, but it feels like very recently you've now become much more confident in who you are, self-assured in who you are, and this is great whether you're in a relationship or not. The next card we have is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is very much so a card of teamwork, a card of partnership, which is good if you're in a relationship, kind of having that ability to rely on each other. The Three of Wands is also a card of expansion, so some of you very well could be expanding your family. Family could be growing. And a card of travel. Some of you could be traveling with your significant other. You could also be like moving in with each other too with the Three of Wands. And at the bottom we have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is a card that indicates desire for long-term security. So some of you are really wanting to go into this next step, whether it's moving in together, growing your family. There's something you're desiring related to love, Scorpio, that it doesn't feel like you quite have at this moment. Of course, let's clarify though and see what messages we get. The first card we have is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a card of rivalry or challenges. However, with the Five of Wands, if you look at this card, they're fighting with wands, they're not fighting with swords. So I always describe these as little bumps in the road versus like a full-on fight with swords. It's on top of that Queen of Wands, which is very confident and very self-assured. I mentioned that even before we pulled the clarifying card, that I don't know that, Scorpio, you were always confident in yourself or comfortable in your skin, where now you're much more self-assuring and much more self-confident. This is just indicating that you have done work to get to this point. It's not like you've always been this confident person. You've worked really hard and really diligently to get to this point where you're self-assured now, Scorpio. So congratulations. That's a lot of internal work and very meaningful. The next card we have is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is a card of self-sufficiency and being very honest. Sometimes people get kind of weird about seeing this card in the love column. I like it. Whether you're in a relationship or you're not, self-sufficiency is really important. Just because you don't need to be independent doesn't mean that you should be able to be independent. So this is a good card to see. This is, I think, again, tying into that kind of self-assurance and self-confidence that you now have. You're also now able to really, truly just be confident in who you are, what you want, and almost self-assure yourself when needed. This is also on top of the Three of Wands, which is a teamwork card. So again, I'm not saying that you have to be independent, but it's the ability to be independent whether you are single or in a relationship that's important. Also, if you're moving in together, I would say that this is a really good card because it's kind of like you're holding your own and your partner's holding your own also. So if you are looking to move in together, I think that that's a good sign there too. Then we have the Star card at the bottom. The Star card is a card of renewal, hope, inner clarity. Sometimes it's almost like a miracle card. Something really catches you off guard. Again, for those of you wanting to get engaged, I would say that this is a good sign. Again, that desire for something long-term that you don't have now. If you're wanting to expand your family and maybe you've been having infertility issues, this is that kind of miracle card. But again, whatever this is, there's some sort of renewal, hope. You're also really clear on what you want with, you're like getting additional clarity. So you'll be able to better obtain what you want, this long-term desire, because with the Star card, you're really clear on what you want. Now let's move into our fifth and final column, which is going to be a message from our future self or spirit guide, Scorpio. We have the card perspective. Likely some of you will be gaining some new perspective going into the end of February, but let's see. The first card that we have is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is very fast-paced. It's very much so a life cycle change. You see how lifestyle change, sorry, not life cycle. I'm kind of blending my words together here, Scorpio. But you see how quickly this horse and rider are moving. Things are happening fast, and it's a very quick lifestyle change. So there's just going to be a quick shift in something that's going on for you. Maybe that's that new perspective that you're gaining. We do also have the Six of Pentacles. This is a card of generosity. It's about giving or receiving help. Maybe this new perspective makes you more generous or makes you realize that you need to be asking for help. Again, you could be giving or receiving. And at the bottom here, we have another fast-paced card similar to our Knight of Swords. The Eight of Wands is very speedy, very quick action, quick change, news coming in. It does seem to be perspective, like you're going to hear something and it's going to give you a new perspective and it's going to cause you to change immediately, Scorpio. Likely somehow associated with that generosity given the Six of Pentacles. But let's clarify this last row here. The first card we have is the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is very patient. This can sometimes be a new job or raise or some sort of money news. Some of you could be shifting to a new job. We did talk about that earlier. You might get like wind of a new job opportunity and this is prompting you to take the move. The Page of Pentacles, though, is also a patience card, so I feel like you've been waiting for this perspective, this new opportunity, and your patience has quickly paid off. The next card we have is the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is kind of a card of low feelings. Sometimes it's like heartbreak or loss. I feel like you're just going to be more in touch with this sense of generosity. You're going to have feelings that you haven't had before, Scorpio. This is going to kind of bring something to the surface that maybe you haven't experienced yet. Then at the bottom we have the Fool. The Fool is always a good card. It's a card of fresh hope, taking chances. It's going on a new path, going on a new adventure. It's new beginnings. And that makes sense with what we're explaining here because you do have that Knight of Swords, which is a lifestyle change. So whatever this news is that comes in, it is going to put you on this new path, which will be really beneficial to you. Now at this point in time, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions using the Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. I'll give you 3 yes or no answers. If you don't have questions in mind, you can pause this video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, we have the Two of Hearts. This is number 19 card. That's going to be a yes. Question number 2 is the Three of Clubs. This is number 5 card. That is a yes. And question number 3 is the Seven of Diamonds. This is number 38 card. That's also a yes. So yes, yes, yes for you, Scorpio. We're also going to take a look at our healing stones. So in your earlier February video, I pulled you a crystal from the healing stones deck. It's a crystal to keep with you through the month of February to support you. You had the crystal of garnet. Garnet is good for crisis management. It helps solves chaos, and it's very confident. It helps you step into your own power. And then last but not least, we're going to pull a note from our healing notes deck. We can always all use more healing. Your note says, endurance is one of the most difficult disciplines, but victory comes to those who endure. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, if you subscribe, that's very beneficial to me, and you'll be notified when I post additional Scorpio videos in the future. If you feel inclined, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you again, Scorpio, and have a fabulous rest of your February.